So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage, busting up your feet again, unapologetically. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so glad to be here and that you found me, and I hope that this reading resonates with you. This might not be your reading, and that's fine. If the pile doesn't resonate, go check out another pile. If you're not finding anything resonating here, there's plenty of readings on my playlist for you. All right, but I am not necessarily tapped into every single energy frequency, so I might not be your reader, but I do hope that you stay, and I do hope that you found me for a reason. Okay, for those of you guys who are returning, I am so blessed to be here. I'm so grateful to do your reading again today for the second time. This is a requested reading looking at what is the person on your mind realizing about you. So there are recent realizations about you. This is a timeless message, meaning when you watch the video, the message was energetically meant to find you. Okay, regardless if it's the day of the posting or 2 years from now, 6 months from now, it doesn't matter, okay, as long as you resonate with that message. So it's going to be a pick a deck, and I'll hold up the 4 options because there's 4 piles to choose from. But this reading, I'll be using these decks right here. So if you're interested in energetically charging these cards as I open them and engage with the cards, then I will put a link right here, and you guys can go there at any point to charge the cards, take a look at the cards. Okay, and you guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today as I do this reading. And so for the 4 options we have here, option number 1, we have the Kawaii Tarot. If I'm saying that right. And option number 2, we have the Law of Attraction Tarot. Option number 3, we have the Unseen World Tarot. I see you now. Yes, I got dad jokes. And then the 4th pile is the Mystic Mondays Tarot. So, beautiful angels, I'm going to remove the noise from here, these 4, so that you can give it your full attention. And if it's your first time here, I do suggest you listen to the disclaimer before you get all uppity at the reader, okay? If it doesn't resonate, it's not your pile. Energy comes crisscross. You can apply the energy in any which way to your situation. Could be you, could be the person on your mind, could be someone hijacking this reading that you're not wanting to hear from. I can't help anything except for reading the energy as I see it. And there's a lot of people that come through here. It's not a private reading. So it's going to be exactly as I see it. And it's up to you to sort of either apply it, reject it, or go elsewhere if it's not something you want to hear or you're not prepared to hear this message, okay? So I'll let you guys sit with this energy. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you're ready, select from the timestamp below, and I will see you guys at your pick. Hey, pile number 1, you guys picked the Kawaii Tarot, and we're looking at this person, the person on your mind, their realizations about you, and I'm reading energy, like I say, so it could be that it's a reverse, meaning it's what you're realizing, okay, your current realizations, or it could be someone hijacking this reading that you are aware of. You could go to another pile, okay? If it doesn't resonate at all, then it's not your pile, and I'm not doing an energy check, meaning I am relying on your intuition here. I don't like to deliver false information. So you can run with wishful thinking. You can run with negative thoughts. You can do whatever you will because you're going to do it anyway. But that has nothing to do with me. Okay, so tap into your intuition. We'll ask Spirit to deliver what you need to hear so that you know that this is your pile. But I'm going to be reading this person's recent realizations, a person on your mind, and their realizations about you, about the connection between you, about what's gone on between you guys, maybe about themselves when it comes towards you or engaging with you. Okay, whatever is the strongest pulls through here. But let's ask Spirit. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1, the person on their mind. What is this person's recent realizations? What are they currently coming into realization about when it comes to pile 1, the connection with pile 1 specifically? What are they realizing? What are they coming to understand? And I do have oracles as well, so bear with me as I lay these out. And yes, it'll take as long as I need. There's such a thing as skip forward button. So if I'm lengthy, long in the tooth, then, oh well, sucks to be you, I guess. All right, so an attitude. Maybe this person has a little bit of a toot on them. All right. Yes, my readings are long. I'm the only one who suffers, not you. Make it as long as you want, okay? So let's see. Spirit, clear and concise message regarding pile number 1's person and what are their recent realizations? What are they coming to reveal to themselves? Which truth are they coming into or seeing or understanding? Or are they even seeing a truth? Are they realizing something else? What is it that pile 1 needs to be aware of here in regards to the person on their mind? Thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here. So grateful. I realize you have a lot of readers, so you come here to hear me yap, and trust me with your energy. I'm truly blessed to be here. Thank you so, so much. I feel really hot all of a sudden in this room. It's snowing. Can you believe it's snowing? End of March and it's snowing. Oh, my goodness. All right, clear and concise message. Last deck regarding pile 1's person on their mind. Feel this one and that one. I feel there's one more. My goodness. Pile 1's person's realizations. There's the card. All right, so I like to get this out of my way so I can flat my hands about as I argue with myself. Thank you. This person might like talking to themselves. I'm talking to myself. Alrighty then. Let's take a look. So we have the world. Something about Christmas. It's snowing. We have the wreath here. Maybe this person has a birthday around Christmas. Okay, December, January, November sort of window. Could be a thing here with the wreath. Okay, but something about a gift as well is coming through. A blessing, a gift, appreciation with the ribbon. But the world talks about closure. So let's take a look. And then we have the Queen of Wands. Beautiful. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The Three of Wands. And the Ace of Swords. In the reverse, the Four of Swords, and the Ace of Cups, 2 aces. Ace of Swords in the reverse, Ace of Cups in the upright. Aces are all about new beginnings. The world is about a successful closure so we can have a new beginning. Okay, 9 of Cups in the reverse, and the 9 of Pentacles in the upright. The 9s are all about the self. Self-confidence, emotional fulfillment. Okay, but we have the 9 cups in the reverse. Interesting. And then we have the 9 of swords in the reverse. Lots of 9s here. 999. Okay, I did ask for confirmation whether this is your pile or not, so maybe you're seeing a lot of 9s here. Okay, 999, but 99 is a master number, being the change you wish to see and helping humanity to release what no longer works successfully. Movement. New beginnings. This is stationary. So let's take a look. This is also the card of anxiety. So we have future. Wow. Okay. So 16 and 7. So 16 is tower energy and 7 is chariot. Something about the dissolution for their to-be movement or success. Future. Forthcoming, tomorrow, ulterior, destiny, prospect, and afterwards with the heart chakra here. Future. And then we have nature. 19 and 1. Now I see why so many cards came out here. This is my love deck. Nothing really here is about love. It seems very neutral so far, but let's see. Nature. Mountain, seaside, forest, desert, garden, countryside. Seems like an exploration, natural exploration. 19 is the sun. Okay, sun's all about having recent realizations, clarity, enlightenment, joy. seeing something, seeing truth. Here's another new beginning with the 1. So we have Leo, and we also have Gemini and Virgo. Something about the silver is connecting me back to this 9 of Cups in the reverse here. Okay, because it's talking about when we're in gold, or the highest potential or highest state of truth and our potential, and we're not feeling sort of lack or feeling like we're less than in some way, or silver, or second place here. There's something here saying emotionally unfulfilled. Let's see how that plays into effect. 95 and 5. So authentic self-expression with the blue. Blue is the throat chakra. Okay, commitment, solemn promise, engagement, implication, signature, word given, union to come. Type 5, the observer thinking center between interior and exterior. So 5 is Hierophant, which talks about commitment, but it's also temperance. Temperance is healing. Temperance is guided. Balance, alchemy. Okay, transition to things sort of creating a third thing here, but something rooted in truth that can heal something that's being guided in towards officialness or commitments of sorts. So we have Sagittarius and Taurus energy, and Cancer as well, if I didn't say. And then we have Aries and Scorpio with character ego level for the ex-husband, ex-wife, ex-spouse, ex-lover, ex-flirt, ex-partner, ex-companion. Type for the individualist emotional center between lack and abundance with the purple, which is the spiritual chakra. Could be the third eye, or a download, or a connection to spirit, a telepathy of sorts here as well. And the X is sort of the past and the future here. All right, so we have the past and the future. So we have 48 and 3, welcoming failures, solar plexus energy, detaching from the result, redefining success, being authentic. What did I say about authentic self-expression? Telling the truth. That would be the opposite of this whole thing. Rebalancing your life, detaching from objects. Type 3, the achiever emotional center between appearing and authenticity. Divine Empress and Divine Masculine. Okay, with the Emperor and the Empress coming out here. Masculine and feminine energy, solar plexus, and then the heart. So solar plexus talks about the egoic story, we might believe, okay, but welcoming failures is seeing beyond the illusion that we might tell ourselves, or that it keeps us sort of held back or in lie. Okay, and then we have 108 and 9. So another 9. Look at these 9s. So 9s are all about fruition, completion, fulfillment. Okay, 9s are about wisdom, closure, service to humanity, which we were getting with that 99 being the wish you see. And since we have repeating 99s, it could be you and your person are mirrored and releasing and shifting. So being the change you wish to see to help humanity to sort of do the same. Okay, as you reveal yourself and free your consciousness, this helps others to free their consciousness as well. So 108 and 9, it says love, forgiveness, gift of self, self-love, the love of life, compassion, and reconciliation. So the X can talk about a past person, obviously with the reconciliation, but this love of self could come through when we're, battling or struggling with this silver energy, like I was talking about, okay, because these were the self, the 9s, the numbers of self here. 9's also hermit, which is understanding oneself, connecting to one's own truth or one's spiritual nature here. Okay, and then the moon, of course, is also 9, which could be diving into your subconscious, facing our fears, or really maybe getting lost in the emotions in some way here, okay? We have compassion here, which could go back to this heart chakra, so more solar plexus. So Virgo and Cancer coming through again. All right, and then we have your fear with number 1, and more magician energy, but it's new beginnings, potential opportunities with the 1, independence, pioneering, individuality. Your fear, that's the moon energy we were just tapped into, and then their motives. And number 3, another 3 here, 33 is a master number. Reproduction, creativity, humor, Christ consciousness, which was that sun energy I was feeling from the 19. Okay, consciousness, joy, and harmony. And 3 is all about harmony, growth, relationships. So lots of messages coming through right away. So I'm going to dive into this here, okay? And just give me a moment to pick my wand, because I like to wait until I'm recording to waste your time and find my wand. I don't know which one I want. Sure, this one. love, if I didn't mention. Okay, this is a very simple message here, for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. Very clear to me what it's saying here, okay? And like I said, I'm relying on your intuition so that you're not running with a message that's not for you. But I think by the time I'm done here, there's going to give a lot of confirmation as to whether this is your messaging or not, okay? So sorry for those of you guys who sat through the card layout, but I'm going to say the signs again, and then we're going to unpack this thing and put it all together, okay? We have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Cancer, Virgo, Gemini, Scorpio, Taurus, and Libra, and yeah, and that's what we had. We also have confirmation coming out with the cards that I was laying out here if you skip that part. Okay, so what's happening here? I feel like your energy is shifting for sure. I feel like you're understanding your value. I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're dissatisfied in the connection with whomever you came here about. And I think that either this person was withholding, not communicating, not being clear, not telling you how they felt or the truth or giving any direction about where it's going, or you may have just felt like it wasn't going to go anywhere. Maybe they were communicating that it wasn't going anywhere or that they didn't see a future. For whatever reason, you didn't see where it was going to go. It wasn't clear to you, and you became unclear whether this is something that you wanted to hitch your wagon to. It's like it's not emotionally pleasing, however it is going, and I see no end in sight or no goalpost or no direction. Okay, and so for a lot of you guys, though, I feel like this person, okay, has been not very honest with their position here, and I don't think that they were trying to deceive you. I don't feel like this person was doing anything maliciously, okay? So I do feel like a lot of you guys have already engaged with this person in some fashion long enough to see what you don't see. You know what I mean? If this was early, I don't think you'd be in this energy of like sort of, it's not that you're giving up. It's like you're moving. You're moving into your power of where can I go? I'm going to choose myself. And what I want is a direction that's not like this. So you might, and there goes my email confirming, you might not know where you're going exactly, but it's like, if I stay here, if I commit here, so this could be your realization for sure, but I'll get into the other person's realization, could be a blended pile for sure. Okay, but I see energies here, and I see you as this beautiful Queen of Wands, and so this person sees you as a Queen of Wands too. This feels like this person is seeing you, that you understand your value, and maybe this took some time, that you know, it's like, I need to be valued because I am valuable. And if you're not able to be of value here for me or share a value here, I have to do what I need to do here in order to stand in my truth and my value, because I feel like you're choosing yourself is what I feel you're choosing. And your confidence might have taken who knows how long to kick in for you to say, I'm ready to go, or I'm ready to choose an unknown path. I'm ready to explore what's for me. And it seems like it's away from this person in some regard. And I think this triggered something, but this triggering is a good thing, although good things might be challenging, because when we remove the veil or when we shift energy, then what's left is sort of the truth that cannot hide nowhere. And I feel like this person does value. I feel this person does want you in their world. And so now they're battling this understanding that they've had. And so the realization here is, I have been unclear, not direct, or maybe not standing in my truth. So whatever I was being direct about or clear about was against the truth. Maybe this was a union that wasn't official, you know? So however that would sound. Or somebody who walked away saying, I don't want a future with you, or I don't see, or I'm not ready, or whatever word they used, so it couldn't come together. And they left, or they ran, or they hid, or whatever they did here. And you're like, okay, well, energetically, either I'm not going to chase, or I'm not going to stick around, or I just know that this type of energy that you're in is telling me something opposite than what I want or need. or what I value. And that energy in which they were outputting was not even aligned with their truth. And that's what they're realizing. It's like, uh-oh, I just did the thing that was opposite or against what I'm really feeling and wanting here. And so this person is wanting a reconciliation. This person's wanting to come forward. I feel like this person has let you down by this act of not choosing or not being clear or not committing to seeing the vision. But the bigger one is not being honest within their truth, because I feel this person does have love for you. And I do feel like this person feels that you are a gift, the gift of love, the gift of self here with this wreath. And like I mentioned, when I laid the cards out, it's like your love that you're bringing. So you're an available blessing in my world that I wasn't receiving. I wasn't receiving because I either didn't feel worthy, and whatever I was chalking it up to, okay, a past disappointment, I was projecting that it might fail. I might have had other relationships fail on me, whatever it was, a lack of self-confidence. Maybe I was sticking to the story of my own. Only me and only myself can sort of be safe. Anyone else here might create some sort of threat amongst my hyper independence of self, which we sometimes create that self or that persona to protect ourselves from getting hurt again, or from being vulnerable, or introducing something. This person definitely could have lied to you, but I feel like the lying to you was I wasn't being direct or clear, or said something against how I truly felt. But I didn't maybe even realize that I was fighting myself with how I felt here, and they could have stood on this for some time as well, because they could have known that there was something more true that would have been more aligned with you, that they could have acted upon maybe for some time, and they didn't, because there was a lot more weight on how would I appear, or what would people say, or would this be successful. And it's really the surface thing of the outcome that had more weight than me just saying, I want to stand in my truth. Whatever shall happen here shall happen. And so I feel like your person chose the superficial, whatever the superficial is, the story of fear. And they chose this thing. And I feel like instead of, for some of you guys, it's coming through very strong. It's like maybe there was a choice on the table between you and another option. And whatever that option is for some of you guys, it could be another person, another relationship. For others of you, it was a material thing that they prioritized in their world, because that's how people know me or know of me, or that's the self that I've created. And so I must upkeep because I'm attached to that version. And I upkeep this thing. And now here you come as a blessing from the universe that's calling me to action. It's calling me into my truth. It's calling me to speak my truth, walk my truth, claim my truth, make something official here, commit to you, claim some sort of future, or at least have a vision of what I want for myself for tomorrow when it comes to you, rather than maybe keeping you up in the air, or this thing, a secret or whatever. And so you left, or you're walking away, or you're just going where there is opportunity. And you were saying, like, where is this going to go? Where's it going to flow? And can we start something new here? And let me either into your world, or allow the natural flow of how you're feeling come through here. And they're so stuck to their idea, to the point of where it seemed almost selfish. Because I am getting here, detaching from objects, and then this 9 cups in the reverse, which could mean, like overly sort of doing something here that's like self-gratifying, but like it feels almost like an energy of self-fulfillment only, to the point where I'm at the exclusion of everything else. And so I'm getting blinded by what I'm seeing, or the superficialness of something, or the story that's really surface. And then the deeper truth, my truth, that would require me to step into my authenticity, I didn't do. And the reason I didn't do it or deflect it, like I said, was because I was buying the egoic self story or the failures of the past or the thing that I believed at some point in time that had a real life. And so I think either you're in a period of no contact with this person, or you went quiet, or you, I don't know, pulled your energy in a way here that feels lively, but it feels lively in your world. And so energetically, it's like, I know my worth or where I'm going or my own value. And I need to detach from you. I need to take a pause from you. Maybe you said, let's take some space, or you just didn't reach out. And maybe they're like, oh, I'm used to pile one chasing me or communicating with me or asking me, I don't know, every Sunday, when are we going to get married? When are we going to move in? When are you going to introduce me? When are we going to take things serious? When are we going to take things to the next level? When are we going to onward? And maybe you just said, I'm not going to ask this anymore because I don't see the vision. And this person is obviously not there. And so I feel there's a release of your anxiety or your stress or your energy that might have been very much tied or chasing this person in some way. And so I feel like this person's realizations here is that all of this stress that I was creating in this dynamic was created from an understanding that was giving me a lot of stress and anxiety because I was buying the story of the solar plexus. So the ego comes online because it's attached to some story. An image I must keep, a thing that I tell myself I can't lose out or I'm attached to, that's sort of superficial, scratches the ego, or the ego says, I must protect you from experiencing something that you experienced in the past that you believe you would experience here, that you would fail at, you wouldn't be good at, or it wouldn't work anyway, and so you must push it out. But it's going against the truth. And so I feel the biggest thing here is blurred vision of the future. Where do they want to take this thing? What is their truth? How do they feel? Or where do they want to go? Or how is it moving? None of this got communicated. And they're seeing that this lack of communication, lack of pointed direction, lack of leaning into what is true, which is love and their feels for you here, and officially committing in a way here that allowed things to move naturally, created the dynamic that it's creating. And they want to put it behind them, and they want a reconciliation, and they want to step forward here. Okay, like to close this chapter, to step forward here. But I don't see that they're at the point of how they're going to step forward or any of this. I just see that they're coming to the understanding of what they didn't do and why they sort of didn't do it and what the truth actually is, because there is love behind this and there is a truth of them that was needing to get enacted upon. And so I feel like this pondering, this time that they're sitting in this energy is healing that belief or detaching from that wound or seeing through the illusion more until the illusion disappears and we successfully no longer engage or feed that energy. Because they were unclear about their own motives with you, And if they're unclear inside, how could they be clear with you? How could they tell you the truth? How could they commit to you? How could they make it official here? It's like the fears are way louder. But of course, this energy with this much solar plexus wouldn't say, I'm just scared, But it's like it is a fear of committing. Because if I commit, that means X, fill in the blank, the story I'm attached to. And I do feel for some of you guys too, it was like a version of me, a self I've created, which isn't in my highest truth or potential, that I believed I was. And so I had to push love out. And now I'm unhappy. Now I'm emotionally unfulfilled because you, the Queen of Wands, uplifted. You are probably the sunshine here. You are probably the fire. You are probably the inspiration. You're probably the muse. You're probably the potential that I could see a future with and engage with, but it didn't make it a reality. And so it just sat there like a fart in the wind. And of course, when we sleep on the opportunity, a blessing or a gift, it moves away. And so there you go, on your little boat, rowing away, And so there's this realization coming online about the truth. And it's the authentic truth. And it's seeing the egoic story. through that misbelief and what damage it created and what needs to dissolve and what needs to come online in order for there to be a healing of this thing. Okay, and the truth is actually in line with the commitment of sorts, because that is in line with what they're desiring and really truly wanting, because anything else goes against it. It's actually the opposite. But that's what they experience then, loss and disappointment. And now they're emotionally dissatisfied. They don't want to be in their mind about it, looking at what got away, the one that got away, or the blessing that escaped, or the future that I could have had and woulda, shoulda, coulda. And now here I sit reflecting on this and maybe not knowing what to say, how to say it, and how to claim it. And now I need to sever that energy from me because it's no longer the truth or aligned, or now that I see through it, it's like, how can I carry this false dead weight? I can't. I have to do something here. Okay, so this person's called to choose themselves at the end of the day, because whatever they did choose was not choosing themselves. It wasn't aligned with the authenticity. They chose the material thing, or the thing that was actually misaligned out of self-preservation, or whatever you want to call it, because the fear was louder in moving towards committing or a greater truth, or them having to step into maybe their fullest potential here. Naturally, it was calling them to step up, or calling them to dissolve something, or calling them to be empowered and claim something. And it's like, ooh, that's scary to have my voice or to do this thing, you know? So that's what I got. Yeah, 2 cups. Look at that, beautiful. And it's like, you're the one for me. I want to be your other cup here. And you're going to go and wander off somewhere. So they don't think that you're like off with another cup, you know, like someone else's cup, but they see you as maybe not needing them. It's like, wow, there's so much opportunity here in front of pile 1. And I want to be pile 1's person. I want to step forward. I want to commit and be this person. Like, that's what they want. And now it's not saying that they're doing it or that they even have an idea of how to get there. I think they're unclear of what to say, how to make this happen, especially if you guys are in a period of no contact, especially if this person is still severing those beliefs. Like, they see through the illusion, but it's like, how do I not act in that lie then? How do I then become authentic? How do I then shift now to this authentic thing that I'm being called to step into? If we've never done it, we have to find it within ourselves. And this is where there's somewhere in between all this thing, okay? But I feel like this person is fulfilled with you, and without you, they're unfulfilled. So this triggered it. So I don't know the silence you did, or the movement away, or the energy shift, however you did it. It's making me realize that I'm not fulfilled without you sort of there, however you were being there. And I want you to forgive me, and I want to have a reconciliation, and I want your compassion and your energy in my world so that we can sort of be together here. Not so I can use you, not so I can just siphon your energy and run with it, but so that this beautiful, loving connection can merge, however it does merge naturally, even though I have fear and even though I'm not sure how it would do that. But I feel and I know like you're my person here, and you make me feel the same way I used to make you feel inside. Our true souls here felt the same. There's an understanding here, regardless of what they said and didn't do. And I want this opportunity to do this. Okay, and now I'm just your ex, or now I'm just your person you had an experience with here. And I feel like this person might have had a hard time really being truly vulnerable with you. I feel like this person might feel like in order for them to repair something or move forward, they're going to have to be vulnerable. They're going to have to expose themselves in some way here, you know? And if they haven't done this before, it's like, how do I just make this leap? I have to find, again, an empowerment to do so, to speak my authentic, raw truth naturally, without resistance, and overcome this egoic story and detach from that, so that I'm clear and you understand what it is that I want. And that the future, where we're going to build this thing to, is no longer sort of murky or unclear or misaligned because of my fears. So they want a new beginning. All right. Beautiful angel, this is your reading. I hope this helped you, and I'll see you at the next one. All right, bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. You guys picked the Law of Attraction Tarot. Beautiful. let's take a look at the person on your mind and their recent realizations about you. What are they coming to understand about you or this connection? Okay, whether it is true or untrue, it's their recent realizations that they're having here. Okay, so sometimes it comes reversed, meaning it's your own realizations and the whole reading is flipped. Okay, if that's the case, then you can listen for sure, or you can go check out another pile. And if this reading gets hijacked, you might hear from someone you're not wanting to or expecting to, and you can go to another pile. All right. So clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. And we're looking at the person on their mind. And what is it that this person's coming to realize? And their recent realizations about pile number 2, about the connection, about pile 2 specifically, or even about themselves when it comes to engaging with pile 2. What are their recent realizations, spirits? And please deliver whatever it is pile 2 is needing to know in order to know whether this is their pile or not. Okay, I won't be doing an energy check, but I will be tapping into, like some sort of energy signature here. So, is this the connection that you came here about? So I do ask you to tap into your intuition, okay? Spirit, please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Pile 2, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so grateful and blessed to be here. What is it that pile 2's person on their mind is coming to realize? Recent realizations. Person that pile 2 is coming here about. I feel there's one more, and I do feel it's that one. Okay, let's move these cards. 2 more decks. Sorry, no, 3 more decks. You can skip ahead if you'd like. Pile number 2's person's recent realizations about this connection, about pile 2 specifically. What are they coming to realize? That's it. That's all. 2 more decks. What is pile 2's person coming to understand? What are they realizing here? What revelations are they having? I feel 3 from that deck. And finally, from this deck, what are pile 2's person on their mind realizing? What are they coming to understand or realize? Journey, 43 and 7, neutral event. Adventure, travel, trip, exodus, discovery, migration. With the green, which is the heart chakra, I do feel there's some more coming through. This one and one more. Have you heard from this person in a while? I don't feel you have. Oh, party, anniversary, event, trip, meal, festivity, and celebration, 25 and 7. Look at that, 77. I think that also came out for, a 7 came out for pile 1. If you recall, 7 is Cancer energy, but 77 is a master number. Trust the fall, an adventure that arises from deep wisdom. Okay, so how do we get wisdom? On a journey. Trust of life, trust of self. On this journey, I build some form of trust here in the adventure. Okay, but party is a place and activity, and it says anniversary, event, trip, meal, festivity, and celebration. So we have Cancer energy. 7s are all about faith, wisdom, reflection, understanding, spirituality, which is interesting because we got 3 spiritual cards here. Intellect, personal growth, solitude. Another green card. And this came out for pile 1. And look at how I shuffled it. Fascinating. Green's the heart chakra, but this came out for pile 1. So it says future. And it's 777. You could definitely be seeing the angel number 777. Okay, so Tower energy, more Cancer, and it says future, forthcoming, tomorrow, ulterior, destiny, prospect, and afterwards. Now, this is my love deck. And none of these cards are sort of talking of love. They're all sort of, although they're all in the heart chakra, they're all talking about neutral, party, journey, future. That's interesting. Very interesting. Okay, and then we have 56 and 2. Mental tendency, stress level, hysteria, excessive emotions, simulation, delusion, agitation, overexcitement, and affective dependence. Type 2, the helper emotional center between giving and receiving. And the red here can talk about, I always read it as root chakra, which could house a lot of insecurities. Okay, I need to feel secure, stable, grounded. Talk about a lot of codependent ways of coping. Okay, attachments that we might have to people, places, things. Okay, or avoidance. So 37 and 1, confession, spiritual practice, alignment practice, ethical leadership, repentance, ecological action, purification ritual, philosophical circle. Type 1, the perfectionist, instinctive center between control and letting go. 2, 1. 1's all about new beginnings, potential opportunities. 2's are all about balance, duality, choices, partnership, and polarity and contrast. So we have Virgo, Gemini, and Pisces, and Libra. 26 and 8. Leo and Aquarius. Conscious awakening, uncontrolled anger, hysteria. Oh my gosh, excessive emotions, uncontrolled anger, authoritarianism, personal justice. That's the I, the ego. Okay, conflict tendency, fear of vulnerability, rejection of weakness. Type 8, the challenger, instinctive center between strength and weakness. 8 is the ego number here, but the white is the authentic self, the pure self. And we have avoidance, which I was feeling from the red here, okay? 27 and 9, conscious awakening, ego level, avoidance, self-forgetfulness tendency, lack of self-expression, passivity, procrastination, unused potential, fear of confrontation. Type 9, the peacemaker, instinctive center between forgetting and asserting oneself with the solar plexus. Alrighty then. 3 in the blind spot oracle. Oh my goodness. And we have blinding optimism with 57. So that's the hangman energy, which is Pisces here. Okay, a change of perspective here, or becoming enlightened to a greater state of consciousness. But blinding optimism, obviously, if it's in the shadow, then it's sort of hitching to some sort of understanding, okay, that sounds right to the ego or sounds right to the person that's trying to protect itself. So we buy it, hook, line, and sinker. And then denial. Yeah, denial of some greater truth, so we could buy that story. Okay, 10 is all about endings. 10 is also sun, which is also a consciousness. Okay, this was hangman, which is working with the divine to see a higher state of consciousness. I feel like something's being shown in truth. That's shining the light on some untruth here. Okay, maybe the lie we have that we can control something. Oh, and then we have free will. Yeah, so 11 here. So isn't that interesting when we dance in the free will, but spirit has the wheel? And how do we learn when we can make decisions out of a free will and what is sort of being driven by spirit? Okay, so 11 is a master number, divine inspiration, synchronicity, and the encouragement to keep going. So let me take a look at the bottom of the deck. We have the Ace of Pentacles, although it does look like the Ace of Wands. It's the Ace of Pentacles. I don't read the bottom of the deck reverse. Aces are new beginnings. And we had a 1 over here. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, and she's in reverse. So there's that dependency. Okay. And then we have the 3 of Swords. It's in reverse. An airplane. This deck is pretty interesting. We have the 9 of Wands, and it's in reverse. Surrender. Put down the defense here, okay? And then we have the King of Wands. He's in reverse. So definitely the King of Wands would want some form of control. There's so many egoic drive here with the King of Wands, okay? Because he generally has like a I can do attitude. I have a vision that I'm trying to achieve and accomplish here. But in the reverse, like I say, it's a shadow King of Wands. So it could be an arrogance, could be a lack of confidence. It could be something that was making us sort of need to control or drive, creating pain and suffering here that's becoming visible. Okay, so then we have the Emperor, and he's in reverse. Yeah, look at, so the shadow aspect of the Emperor, ooh, that's tied to a King of Wands in shadow. Okay, is this either I'm too much in a feminine energy, receptive, I don't have the confidence to go after or achieve something, or it could be in the polar opposite balance where I'm too much in my pride and stubbornness and forcing something by controlling something here. It could even be I'm so lacking the confidence or the empowerment that I'm controlling something here. It's creating pain and suffering here. Okay, I'm going to have to put my defense down or surrender something here. So we have the Seven of Wands, defensive energy again, fighting for what I believe in or what matters. Maybe feeling like everything's sort of coming against me, or I got to protect myself and like stand up in for what I believe. And then High Priestess in the reverse. So again, am I fighting for the wrong camp here? Because the High Priestess in reverse is like, I don't see or know. I'm going against my intuition. I'm in the blind here, but I'm fighting blind. Weird. And then we have the Magician, another one. So I don't know where we saw the other one. Maybe it was just 11 here, but 1, 1, 1, 1. Oh, here, 1. So you might be seeing a lot of ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones in your reading. Okay, but 11 is my twin flame number. Some of you guys could resonate on that journey, but 11 is divine inspiration, synchronicity, encouragement to keep going. Ones are all about independence, our will. Okay, and you got free will here. Beginnings, pioneering, individuality, new beginnings, potential, and opportunity. So let me tap into this energy and unpack what this messaging is, okay? This might take a little bit, and I'm going to turn the light on and see if we can see. I can see better when the light is on, so I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'll do that, although this feels very weird to have it here for me. Anyway, you guys can definitely skip ahead here. Okay, pile number 2. I hope this becomes more clear as we unpack it. Like I always say here, some things are very clear already, but I still have questions. And I also have, so what does that mean? Okay, but so what does that mean will sort of come clear as we read it here. So, like I was mentioned, I'm just reading energy. Applied to however it applies here, okay? I'm going to read it as this person's energy. That's what you have on your mind here. It feels like this person that I'm reading is living in a belief so strong that they hold. Okay, and when we believe in something, it doesn't necessarily make it true, right? The belief that I'm a unicorn or a horse or a panda or whatever I believe just means I have a strength and attachment to a something that I've created. And the only reason we would do that, we wouldn't want to believe we're a panda or a this or a that, just to create suffering and because we're delusional or crazy. We create it because the ego wants to protect itself. So they created a story that allows them to control narrative. I control narrative because the alternative is I get hurt or exposed. And when I lose control, then I'm at the mercy of what happens. And God forbid, whatever happens will put me into a threat. So the ego kicks up. And so I feel like this person is really living in some sort of la la land, or has been, okay? In a la la land here. And the reason they're doing it, again, isn't to just make you suffer or because they can see it as a la la land. They do this and it creates a set of actions that they do in the world as though their beliefs are real to them, but it could contradict everything that's going on around them. So if I believe in a panda and I'm eating leaves and grass, sorry, this is how it's coming out, you'd look at me like, why are you eating leaves and grass? You're a human. Well, I'm eating leaves and grass because I'm a panda. And so my actions are going to always be driven by what I believe. And so I believe in something here. And so this makes me push away and avoid and get all sorts of ways when I'm thrown into an energy that I feel threatened. And so this person has been believing that they could control what was going to happen and unfold between you and this person by doing whatever they were doing. They would have a certain outcome. By saying whatever they would say, they'd have a certain outcome. And so I feel like this person was very sort of strategic, not strategic so they could lie to you and get you to do what they're trying to pull out of you and manipulate you to do, but they're trying to manipulate the energy in their world so that whatever happens in their world is safe for them. Because if you don't act how the narrative that I need in my world, then you're going to be an offliner here and creating, or an outliner here and creating like something not in line. And then what do I do? Then what do I do? And so I feel like this person has been, I don't know, I don't want to move that up because then it's in the light, like almost like you're the enemy, you're a threat here. And so they're sitting here with this understanding that this connection and this pain and whatever it is that they've created here, that they have been sort of building this energy, building this dynamic based on this understanding that they have. And I feel like this person is still under some illusion because they don't see the full truth just yet. And I feel like there's a panic here. Yes, this is exactly what it feels like. Okay, so I'm getting answers to some of the questions I had. So how am I going to explain this? This is very interesting. So let's say I'm going to give this example. Okay, if I'm a panda and I'm eating grass and leaves, obviously I'm going to shit myself, right? Or get constipated. I don't know what happens when you eat grass, you puke. And we could keep sort of doing that thing, right? And then it's like the puke or the poo or the whatever happens, it's like, whoa, then we're sitting there with that thing. But we could still believe we're the panda. And then it's like, this panda can't eat leaves or grass. Maybe it's bark. And then I go eat bark. That's what it seems like. It's like, I can't eat the leaves and grass no more. Whatever I did with you, okay, if I'm reading it right, whatever I did with you or said with you, it created the poo and the puke, the poopy thing that I don't like. So now I think I have the power as this panda, which by the way, I'm not, to now go eat the bark. But you're still in delusion. So this person is in a delusion here, and their big delusion is just to control narrative. And what I say and what I do is going to create your way of being in my world. What I can say comes in and what I say doesn't. And so if I don't like whatever it is here, I can avoid, and I could lie by omission. I could dance around it. I could do whatever I do because that's me controlling it. And I believe that I would have control in this way. And that's just an illusion, because just because we avoid having a conversation or avoid an argument or avoid vulnerability, it doesn't mean that then it doesn't exist for us and now it goes away. No. We don't become a panda because we believe it, because we eat bark now, or because we start, I don't know, hanging out with the pandas doesn't make us more of a panda. I mean, our traits could be acting like a panda after that. I don't know if panda's coming through. Maybe, again, that's the black and white shadow integration here. This person needs to integrate a shadowy part of them that believes in control. And I feel like this person is really putting a lot of weight in what they say and do. And now they're learning through the experience, because I think what they have said and done up until now has been painful. So what are they realizing? It's like, oh, that was painful when I said that thing, when I ate the grass or ate the leaves or whatever. I'm using that analogy. It created turbulency here. I won't do that. So this energy has to learn through going through it, okay? Even if this is your energy. I feel like this person has a codependent way of engagement And this doesn't mean they're clingy and attached to another person so much as it is they're clingy and attached to the way of engagement that they do, which creates a codependency. Because if they're avoidant, they are sort of removed from what they need to deal with, but attached to control. And if they're dealing with someone who also mirrors this could be somebody who's clingy and attached to this avoidant, who can't grasp the avoidant, who's trying to control. And so there could be a codependency here. And so what this person wants, I think, is good intention. You know, this panda isn't wanting to rule the world and like have everyone sort of submit to it. This person wants a new beginning with you. They want something solid, but it's like under my terms and how it gets there, because my big fear here is to face the things that would put me out of control. Meaning if I'm not in avoidance, or I can't be avoidant of the things that make me uncomfortable, then what's the opposite? I'd have to have that conversation. I'd have to confront. I'd have to do the things that make me uncomfortable. So I'll skirt around if I can. That's what I'll do. And if something forces me to not skirt around or force my hand, then I'm all discombobulated here and I'm going to say whatever and do whatever. And so I feel this is a high spiritual lesson of a deeper awakening of truth, of this person having to see their truest self. And it's like this way of being battles their truth in some way, because it's like if I always believe I'm a panda, like eating grass and leaves and whatever, I'm missing out on the human experience. I'm missing out on the truth of really how I am and who I am, and that the universe will unfold, and the universe keeps unfolding. It's not going to really be any different because we can't rule the universe or how it unfolds. The only thing we could do is to create more illusions in that story, for more things to fear or more things to control, more things to attach to, more disappointments, more turbulency, because when we're not in truth and authenticity, we just create more suffering or disappointment or lack or loss or whatever it is here. And I feel like the way this person would cope is reinforcing their story of why they sort of do what they do. They might not reinforce it to you, but it could be an internal dialogue of, I'm just doing this because the last time I got hurt, or I'm doing this because, and then fill in the blank of the justification, but really it's an avoidance. I'm just trying to not have to put myself in an uncomfortable energy to prevent. It's preventative measures that the ego takes, because the ego is going to fight tooth and nail to keep us protected, especially if we experience something at any point in time. Their soul memory, the energy breaks off. It stays fragmented until we integrate that part of us. That's why I'm seeing panda. Integrate that part. We become whole. We're always whole. But of course, when the energy gets fragmented, the trauma happened, the breakup happened, the separation or the abandonment. I feel there's a massive abandonment wound here that tortured me or abused me or threatened me. And it's real in my mind. And it's controlling my actions. And so I'm going to avoid everything that sort of feels like that flavor, that could expose me, that could abandon me, that could hurt me. And so this person could rage all of a sudden. But it's a delusion. They're fighting that abandonment of the past, and so they're really raging at the thing that happened of the past. And they're really avoiding confronting the thing here because it feels very real to them, of course. But I don't doubt you're threatening this person in this way, but it feels very much like a threat here. It feels very much like this person has been defensive. And so what they're coming to realize is that they possibly have been very resistant or defensive with you, and it created an outcome here they don't like. Okay, so either, I don't know, you broke up, they left, or whatever the experience here made them not feel so good. So it was like a heavy hand in that belief. And now it's like, well, I want to control the connection between me and pile 2 in a way here that's not going to experience what I did. So what do I need to say and do? So we're still thinking we're the panda. What do I need to say and do? No, you don't need to say and do anything. It just naturally allow the thing to sort of flow here. And so I feel like this is a milestone when it comes to a great learning Okay. Like, I feel like there is a leveling up that this person is going to go through when they go through this journey. And now for some of you guys, this is coming through, although it's not going to be relevant for all of you guys. This person could have either a birthday on the 7th or in July. Okay, that's coming through. It could even be July 7th, but just on the 7th of any month, or July 7th or the 7th, or in July at any point in time here. Okay, hope that made sense. Or even an anniversary here with party. This is anniversary. Okay, so I don't know, a work anniversary, a significant thing in the world here. Maybe it's when you met this person. Okay, your anniversary with this person. I don't know. But anyway, so I feel like this party is really giving me, well, one is the milestone, okay? Like Spirit's celebrating that this person is going to adopt and understand a spiritual practice that transcends past this denial, illusion of control, and avoidance in order to see the great truth of who they truly are through this process. And unfortunately, if you're on the other side of this, God bless you. Okay, but maybe you're being shown the same lessons. I don't know, because I was really getting a double energy here. And then your person. Okay, if I'm reading it right, you could flip it, of course. And what's the double energy? Someone here who might be an opposite, but also has codependent tendencies. So I attach and cling, and I have excessive emotions. And so when you're doing what you're doing, it impacts my emotions. And so my emotions swing on this crazy pendulum. And I have no control over this. You control this. And they're like, yep, I'm controlling it. It's like, they're not saying that, but the energy is. And so it's like we're both keeping this illusion alive because you believe it, because you're energetically feeding it. When I do this, you do that. You know, when I eat grass, you go, good, panda. Instead of saying, oh, you're eating grass. Okay, I'm not going to force you to stop, but you're not a panda, and I know that you're not. I'm not going to try to convince you or argue. I'm just going to know that you're not a panda. You can eat grass all day long. But instead, I'm like seeing you eating the grass, and I'm like, I don't know, don't eat the grass, or good panda, whatever I'm doing. I'm reinforcing this belief in delusion. Okay, delusion and denial and all sorts of things here. So I think that's maybe not everyone's message, but it is coming through. So I'm going to channel it as I see it. So the other person here and the controlled energy here, I feel is saying, I don't like what has transpired. I feel I need to now say and do something different here. Maybe I don't need to be as defensive, aka don't eat the grass and the poop, or eat the grass and the leaves. And I'm going to try doing the bark or something like this, you know, because this person wants to find a way to get in there. And so I don't know if you block them, or you're hard to reach or accessible to this person, because they really can't see. They can't see what you're going to say. They might think you're defensive. You might have them, like I said, blocked. You might be high defenses, because I feel, again, this mirrored thing. And so it's like, if you put out defenses and are argumentative and feel you're controlling something by blocking something out here, look, I'm really keeping them out. This is my boundary. This is my defensive thing. See, it's working. It's like, no, we're just highlighting a wound that needs to be looked at and integrated with the panda. Our boundaries, and however many we have, is a reflection of our healing and how fragmented we might be, how unhealed we are. The more traumas I have, the more threats I find, and there goes my email, out there in the world, and therefore I must have more boundaries and blocks and defensiveness. And then say, well, look at all these people who just don't know how to be good people, who are just out there to hurt the innocent, you know? It's like, no. So I feel there's two defenses here. And so maybe if you've been following me here for a while, okay, especially this month, this message comes through of dropping the defense, and maybe you've dropped your defense. And this person is still sort of not sure and seems a little defensive here. And that's okay. Because they're still in illusion, and they're still in denial, and they're still thinking maybe that you would be defensive, and you're maybe working through surrendering, putting down your defenses and saying this person's in shadow, or this person is, you know, acting however they be acting, but it has no drive on my emotions and what I'm able to do. And what I am able to do is surrender. What I am able to do is drop my defenses. What I am able to do is heal myself and not be sort of in this person's circus or under their thumb or under their control, so that I can gain my own energy back and my autonomy back or my independence back or whatever you want to claim. So when the person senses this energetically, because I do feel you guys are tied energetically here, especially if you're, like twin flames, which came up with the 1111. But if not, still energetically, if this person's in your vicinity or your field, they sense your shift. And then this person's like, whoa, I want control to manifest something. Again, not to hurt you, but I want to be in the driver's seat, because who wouldn't? The ego always wants driver's seat because it believes in an illusion story that it could manipulate energy, that it does have control, which is a lie. And so now I want to manipulate energy so that I can make something here and it go in my favor. And what do they want? They do want a new beginning with you. They do want something solid with you, but under their terms. And if you do anything else, then it's not going the way that I plan and I get freaked and spooked. So is it done with this person? No. Does this person sort of want something in the future here? Yes, under their terms. Is this person still sort of defensive? Well, as long as it goes the way that they feel it's under their control, then no. But the minute you sort of go poking around anywhere that exposes vulnerability or it requires this person to do something they're uncomfortable with, where they feel out of control, then they go in shadow. So, I mean, is there a whole bunch of realizations? It's like more practical realizations. I don't like what I'm experiencing here. I'm pooping as a result of eating the grass and the leaves. But so what? There's a deeper realization has to come online. You're not a fucking panda. How are they going to see this? And I feel it's going to be shown, but it only gets shown through a process. And this process involves you, unfortunately, here, I really feel. And it involves you surrendering or not being defensive. Because like I always say, when we reinforce the illusion, we're saying your illusion is so real, I'm acting as if you're the panda. So when you're avoidant, I say you're avoidant, or you're I believe it with my energy. You're avoidant. You're not. You're procrastinating. You're controlling. You're doing this. You're doing that. I reinforce that. And so this isn't be in denial and say no, they're not doing that. It's not saying that at all. It's saying reinforce the energy in which is the truth. The truth is this person doesn't have control. The truth is this person isn't a panda. This person cannot pull you this way and that way. This person has no power over you. This person is going through and clearing through some belief, some trauma, some denial, some delusion here that's been stemmed from a fragmented thing. That's the truth. And so if we see that, we just say, oh, look at this person sort of acting out like a panda until they see the truth. And when you feed this energetically like that, they have no choice but to see the truth, because you're holding the mirror of truth. They say, whoa, I was acting like a panda and I wasn't. Pile 2 is seeing the real me. They're giving me permission to be in the real me. They're not fighting that panda because like the panda's real, because then it's saying I believe in that thing in which you're saying it is. And then the more panda acting I do. So if you don't want this person to act like something they're not, the way they are doing and being, which seems not like them, in order to control, then we can't feed that delusion. We can't feed that energy. No more. And they can act it all they want. And we could go back to saying, see, they're still doing. And it's like, yeah, they are still going to do until they see on their timeline. But you don't have to feed it. Yes, you'll still see the delusions because that's how they're acting. They're acting in a dream. It's like if I'm having a nightmare and I'm really fighting dragons and you're sleeping beside me and I'm doing this, you're not going to go, wow, Linda's really in the dragon world. Like, let me help them. Let me put it like a broom handle in her hand so she could beat the dragon. No, you're saying Linda's having a dream. When I wake up, it's on me. However long I'm doing this is on me. You don't have to encourage it, and you don't have to buy the story of the nightmare I'm having. I mean, yes, you could wake me up, maybe potentially, but you're not supposed to wake someone up as they're sleepwalking or having this dream I'm having is my own dream, and I'll wake up when I wake up. This person's having a dream, and spirit is working with this person, however, through, I guess, an engagement with you, because I do feel you're sort of bringing some realization in order for this person, because I'm seeing purification ritual, but I feel it's the purification process and the journey. And so a ritual could be really anything we practice day in, day out becomes the ritual. So if I constantly keep acting like the panda and the universe supports me being a panda, then I continue going down that path. Because the ego is going to look for everything reinforcing its story, and it will find justification. If I think everyone is mean, when I'm out in the world, I look for everything that supports everyone being mean. See, that person's mean. See, that's mean. I'm going to find it. When I go out into the world thinking that everyone is sort of kind and I can support that, then I start seeing, look at all these kind people. The universe will support that, whatever it is that we're saying, we're seeing. And so I feel like this purification ritual is through the process. This person will reach some sort of milestone, some sort of understanding, and it has to be only through the heart, like I always say, because the heart knows the truth and purification and love is the truth. And so you're in a connection, which I'm sure there's love, or else I don't know why you'd be here. Okay. You love this person, regardless who they are, maybe a brother, a sister, a mother, a father, a boyfriend, a husband, whatever, whoever this relationship is with connection with this person. And so love will show this person the truth that would be louder than the fear story and the thing that happened to them. Okay, but all you can do is your own energy. And so Spirit is saying, are you impacted and pulled? Are you three swords? Are you fighting? Are you surrendering? Are you resistant? Are you codependent? Are you like, what are you doing? And so you might want to go back to the last reading I did today. And I believe that was pile 1. Okay. This feels like completely sort of different energy, but the guidance there is exact thing. Hold, love. Don't get pulled. Okay. Doesn't mean shun this person or block them or do any of that stuff. You reinforce the panda story. Let them have this nightmare until they wake up. This person is in shadow. This person wants control. This person is really, at the end of the day, lacking confidence in themselves and in the universe to provide and to be abundant. I must create the abundance. I must protect myself at all costs. The universe might be scary, threatening, controlling, and all of that stuff to me, so I must do it to it. No, that's not the truth. I'm not seeing clearly. And I'm just fighting against demons of myself, of the mind that make itself a reality in my own mind, and I justify it. And when everyone else is seeing peace, I'm seeing disruption. And I'll continue reinforcing that scene, you know? So I think Spirit wants to come through to you. Are you tying your emotions to someone's delusion? And if we're in love with this person, or we truly love them, or we're having a hard time, it's difficult to do. And so this is why I'm saying this too could be a mirror and a journey of 2 to learn about heart, because heart is what the truth is, not the nightmare. So the sooner you become conscious, okay, the sooner you become conscious, then the sooner you break this sort of dynamic or this codependency or this thing, especially free your own emotions from this thing. And I feel like both you guys are on the same sort of ship here. So you're energetically, if you move, I feel this person will move because you'll hold the mirror. And you're a mirror. Once it shows them that they're not the panda, they say, whoa, I was acting like this. And it's not true and it's not real. And let me shift, or let me test the waters somehow, some way else. Okay? So, I don't know. Their realization's nothing to write home about, really, at the end of the day, you know? But if you're just seeking the juice or the tea, it's like, do they feel bad? Yes, they don't like what happened. So what? I don't like what happened. You're not talking to them, or you boundaried, or you are no longer in their world, or there was a thing here. They're still defensive. They still believe that maybe they're right, or that they got to do something here in order to shift it, but it's still in the same dream. So who cares at the end of the day? You want them to wake up. And maybe you're just waking up, maybe you're just in the act of surrender here. And Spirit says the power is in your ability to make choices in this moment. In this moment, you have a choice. Always. Am I feeding the illusion, the need for control, which is fear? It's the distortion. Or am I awake? Am I surrendered to the greater truth, the pure truth, which is out of ego, out of fear? So don't let the emotions sort of pull you. Let your understanding of a higher spiritual truth, which comes from the heart, tell you exactly as you should be in this moment. Okay, beautiful angel, this is your reading. I hope this helped you, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Pile number 3, Unseen Tarot World. I haven't used these cards in a while. I got them off Etsy. So I turned the light on because it's easier for me to see. Maybe I'll turn them off as I shuffle, but I might turn them on when I start to read. So we're looking at your person, who you came here about, the person on your mind, and what are their recent realizations? What are they coming to realize here? Okay. If it's flipped, it will be your realizations. And if that's the case, you can listen or go to another pile. Okay. And sometimes we get hijacks here, someone we don't want to hear from, person of the past or whatever. If that's the case, you don't want to hear from this person, go to another pile. I'm just going to read the energy as it comes through. It's here for someone. If it's not you, it's not you. So let's ask Spirit for a clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3, person on their mind. And what is this person coming to realize about pile 3 specifically, the connection with pile 3, or about themselves when it comes to engaging with pile 3? Clear and concise message for pile 3. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of this connection. Please protect pile 3, this connection, and of course myself as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. Thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. So blessed to be here doing your reading. King of Wands in reverse, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And I will be pulling some oracles as well, which could take a little bit here. So feel free to skip ahead if you don't want to hear me yap. This card is coming through in the sideways position, which keeps things interesting, of course. So Spirit, for pile number 3, and a person on their mind. Appeasement. Feel one more. What is it that this person is coming to realize about pile 3, this connection with pile 3, or about themselves in this connection? Ego's pitfall, domination. Is there another one? Nope, not from this deck. So appeasement says tolerance and benevolence, open-mindedness, letting go, gentleness, multiple truths, imperfection, and acceptance. The domination card says power, relationships, aggressiveness, self-justice, manipulation, being an outlaw, and authoritarianism. Okay, we have 8 and 1. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3 and their person's recent realizations. What are they coming to understand? What's coming into their awareness? And 2 more decks. What is coming into pile number self-concept? Is there another? Nope. Self-concept from the Blind Spot Oracle, number 2. Another? Yes. What is it that pile number 3 is coming to, or their person on their mind coming to realize? Now remember, I'm not doing an energy check, so I sure hope you have your intuition ears on and eyes and heart. Okay, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, we have the Ace of Cups, and don't read bottom of the deck reverse. We have the 3 of Cups in the reverse. Oh, these cards are so soft. 7 of Cups. Wheel of Fortune. 5 swords. I just heard, oh my goodness, Yankee Doodle went to town. I don't know, no, riding on a donkey. That's not it. But I heard Yankee Doodle went to town. And then I heard riding on a donkey. Oh my goodness. So I don't know. Oh, it's a child's rhyme. 6 swords in the reverse. I got a freaking nail. Okay. And then the sideways position, we have 6 pentacles. So 6s, as I clear this nail, 6s are all about problem solving, compassion, and harmony. 6s are about community, about love, healing, and service. Okay. So 6 pentacles is the card of generosity, giving and receiving, sometimes known as the breadcrumb card here. Okay, it could be an imbalance here. There's something stuck here. Okay, so let's take a look. We have projection 33. 33 is a master number. Reproduction, creativity, humor, Christ consciousness, joy, harmony. It says expulsion from yourself, external reapproach, shifting, victimization, externalization, external attribution. Type 6, the loyalist thinking center between mistrust and trust, with the goal here, which is the high self, okay, or the fullest potential of self here realized and reached. 6 is the lovers. It could be also the devil. And we have mirror here. I'm feeling 3 and 3. All right. So then we have 91 and 1. Serenity, non-judgment, appeasement. Look at that, you guys. Appeasement coming through twice. Patience, sweetness, soul, equality, and acceptance of feelings. Open-mindedness and letting go and gentleness. Interesting. And I said these cards feel soft. 1, 1, 11. 11 is a master number, divine inspiration, synchronicity, the encouragement to keep going. Acceptance of feelings. Wow. Okay. Self-concept here. And we have 58 and 4 with abandonment, being forgotten, being left, orphan, desertion, feeling ignored, being withdrawn. Type 4, the individualist emotional center between lack and abundance with fundamental injury. This is the spiritual chakras here with the purple, and we have the number 4. 4 is Emperor. Okay, and we are seeing 3s here, which could be divine feminine energy for sure. Aries, Scorpio, and more Scorpio energy here with the Pluto and Leo. So 71 and 8, passion, intense fascination, ardent affectivity, impetuosity, exaltation, get carried away, irresistible attraction. Type 8, the challenger, instinctive center between strength and weakness, relationship trap, stress level. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Let me read this, but I'm going to move this down here, and I'm getting a weird feeling in my head here. This is weird. It feels almost like a migraine. Can I see? I'm going to put this here, okay? Because so you can see and I can see. Let me channel what this is. 3 cups in the reverse, 6 cups under that. Okay. Okay, beautiful people. I like this message for you. Okay, I feel like the person you're dealing with here is having a realization about themselves and the version of them that they created here. We always create selves. Okay, the ego will create selves that we create in order to engage in the world so that we can be safe, because the ego wants to protect ourselves. So the more trauma and the more fear out there, the more I create these selves in order to engage. And when something threatens it, I have to make sure that that self comes online, the self that can defend me, the self that is, whatever, protective of me or defensive of my position or can fight to win or whatever the selves. We make many selves. This person has created a version of them that stemmed from a fear of abandonment or an experience of an abandonment. And this created a self that would sort of need to act in a certain way at the expense of this connection flowing and of love entering in, and them allowing themselves to experience love or open up or be vulnerable or acknowledge emotions or be soft. So this person might have had a narrative that sounded like, I must be strong, or I must not be vulnerable, or I must be tough, or I must fill in the blank in order for me to have this position that I believe would get me to win, whatever winning looks like, okay? Or the confidence to succeed, whatever succeeding looks like in relationship or in this dynamic. And I feel like all that has proven or created is conflict with you. 5 swords. Why? Because we're going against the natural flow. We're trying to force our will or way. This person's shadow, okay, I use different words here, but it's sort of similar messaging to sort of number 2, although it feels like different energy. But at the root fundamental of everyone is sort of the same thing. We have shadows, egos, the subconscious, the selves. Okay, I can use different words. It's all the same thing. It's like this way I'm behaving is so programmed. And when I'm not conscious of what I'm doing, it's just sort of acting. And why it's acting this way is because it's trying to protect me. And I feel like this person created a version of them that could feel many different ways for you to resonate with this pile. Like, for sure, you know that this person was attracted to you. Okay, if this person wasn't attracted to you, pull to you. So it could be very intense here with this person passionately. If they didn't have that, then there would be really no lessons here of this person having to see or work through or fix through this shadow. They would just move on. Okay, so there's a passion and a pull, but there's also this, it may be a belief in themselves that is like an island unto themselves. It almost feels like my will, my way, what is it? It's my way or the highway. Okay, or I am so fearful of being abandoned, and this could be underlying as well, mixed with this emotion. I'm so fearful that I have no confidence in other people at all, or engaging in other people at all, that I would be abandoned. And so I behave the way I behave, which has created the environment in which we've experienced. It might have created arguments. It might have created you maybe not trusting me. It might have created you, I don't know, leaving, a natural thing that happens as a result of this thing, or my inability to commit to you or tell you a vision of what I want or what I need, or that I'm passionately driven by you. It's like that is also my shadow. The fact that I want you, or I'm desiring you, or passionate about you, and instead of being confident in my vision and saying I'm claiming you, or I don't know, admitting this thing, it's like I did the opposite, and I was like, no, let's just, I don't know, let's just pretend, or let's just keep it a fantasy, or let me just keep it light, or let me just sort of stay here. I don't need anyone or anything. That's my way. It's like, okay, so is that the truth? It's sort of a truth, because it's like, well, I don't want to be abandoned. I don't want to experience something here. So it's like, it's requiring me to be soft, or it's requiring me to let go a little bit of this belief, or it's calling me to examine this shadow, or it's examine this thing in order for me to loosen my grip here of the thing that I believe so strongly, because this connection is pushing this person out. Okay, so I feel like it's a destined experience. You can call it karma, you can call it fated, you can call it an experience this person is having, and it could be that this is many times this is revealed itself to this person, either through engaging with you or just a repeat thing in this person's world that keeps them stuck and trapped without allowing themselves to move forward. So this could definitely be someone who's fearful of commitment, or just like doesn't claim and leaves things confusing or open, or just keeps things very, very light. And that's sort of where it goes. And it doesn't have anything deeper. And it's like, well, there's a greater, deeper truth here. And there's an agreement of sorts. So you can have a soul contract with this person, or an agreement, or a past life that says, I'm coming here in order for this thing to be healed once and for all, because it's sitting in the shadow, this part of you. And this part of you is creating an experience here that isn't going to be deep and fulfilling, and it's going to push out love and push out certain things because it's louder. This egoic fear, or this belief that you have. And so we must let go of this thing, and we must accept whatever we will experience, even if it is a loss, even if it is something, but not ascribe a story to a loss that it's an abandonment and therefore part of myself goes with it. That's a fear-based story. And so we'll always experience things sort of either being aligned or not. And we could say when things fall away or people leave, it's like, I'm abandoned, I'm now lacking, it's now taking something of me. Or we could just say form comes and goes and comes and goes. And I experienced something that came and left, and of course we're human, so we have emotions tied to it, and it might be hard to sort of process. But I feel like whatever abandonment they did experience in the past was either a childhood or a past experience that really impacted them. And now they have a belief in that they're going to be abandoned. And so I run with this story or this understanding of how I have to be now because of that. And I'm stuck there. And what are they realizing? That when I didn't give to this thing, or when I was stingy, when I was withholding, when I wasn't in flow state, giving and receiving love, and maybe you were giving love to this person, maybe you were giving, and they were taking. It does feel like either they were breadcrumbing you, withholding, not giving, in something like this. And maybe they were like on the borderline. Should I give? Should I invest? Should I open up? Should I be vulnerable? And Spirit is saying, like, this person is working through self-love, filling their own cup so that they can present. Because if we don't have a cup to give, we can't give it 2 cups. And I feel like this person is coming into this connection full of this projection because, again, if we don't experience something that feels, like bad or a loss, it's like we don't know of it, so we wouldn't project it. The only reason we would project it is because I experienced something here that's in my shadow, and it's a belief, and now I create the self, and now the self is sort of projecting into the situation that I have to be a certain way, which is an untruth here. And so this experience is asking this person to surrender, to let go, and to flow with what is, and accept this experience without resistance, or without trying to control it, or without trying to, I don't know, it feels like this person is really focused on themselves sort of winning, at all costs in some way here, and being strong. And I don't know, it has to go in my way, as I say. And Spirit says, when we let go, when we accept what is, when we allow our feelings to come in without resistance or force, then things flow. And so this person's learning about allowing their feelings to flow. I think this person has a hard time with feelings, being vulnerable, letting things flow, accepting a truth that they too have feelings, that they could have feelings, that feelings aren't going to lead them down an abandonment path or like so horrible here in some way. Because when they believe that story, it's like they might start being very hurtful, or like arrogant, or just like so stuck to some sort of thing that becomes a challenge to work with this person. I think you might have even been burnt by this person. It's almost like burn them before they burn me in some way, or keep that going so that no one can kind of get close. It's like, keep that going so no one gets close. This will show how strong I am. This will allow myself to sort of have an upper hand here in love or in connection. But it's like, well, where is it going? It's never getting deep. It's always sort of murky here, and all it does is create conflict, and it's coming from a win-lose type mentality, and it's not generous of heart. It's not generous of spirit. It's not investing here in something. And if we can't, then we don't know anything of love and anything of self and anything of like this thing. And so I feel there's a contrast here. It's like either I'm going to experience the disappointment, or I can experience the softness and the love here. And I feel this person's been stuck in the lack story or the disappointment. And so I feel like the realization coming online here is there's a feeling and an intensity here for you that I've been suppressing or not entertaining, or going down a different path by force, thinking that I'm manipulating the universe and the truth. But the truth is coming online, and it's the truth of who I am, and that I do have feelings, and that my feels are coming online, and there's nothing I can do about it. No matter how much I want to sort of project or tell myself a story of who I'm supposed to be or what I'm supposed to do. And so are they healed fully? No, because I think multiple truths are coming online. And this happens when we're still sort of in old energy, but a new energy comes on and we have to work our way through. Because in order to create a strong belief in something else, we have to sort of dissolve the old belief. And so I feel like here, multiple truths. I feel like the only thing that would challenge this person's beliefs or this thing, okay, that's very strong, by the way, in the shadow here, is something that's equally as true. Otherwise, I would believe my lie and just force people out and stay in my uncomfortable openness here and not engage in deep vulnerability. But because I have strong, intense feelings, this is sort of challenging my paradigm. The universe is challenging my paradigm by putting this experience in front of me. And I cannot deny it, and I cannot resist it, and I cannot do what I normally do or what the ego generally does in order to protect me. So now there's this thing that I can't deny or that I can't lie to myself. And so what do I got to do? I have to surrender. I have to find a way to make peace with this thing. But I'm still sort of tied to this other thing that's protected me for who knows how long. Who knows how many years. Okay, 88's a master number, and I don't know that I read that one. We have a higher calling that is grounded in self-awareness and reverence for life. And what's reverence for life? What do we live for? We live for the truth, the authenticity of giving and receiving love. You know, love of all things, love of other, love of God's nature and universe. Otherwise, what's the point of living? Just to make money or just to be here or just to have a good time? Like, we're not just here just to have a good time and squander energy. I mean, yes, have a good time for sure, but like, what's a good time? Like, not superficial. This is all about the innocence, you know, the innocence of the heart, experiencing something deeper than, I don't know, whatever this is, you know. And this could be this person's been very isolated, pushing out everyone and everything that could get close, or just like superficially dating around here, or like sex, drugs, rock and roll. And I do this, and I keep it there. And a one-on-one would require me to be a one, and I don't know that I'd be a one because of the fear and the thing. So I just keep things the way that it has been going here. But now it's made me stuck, or it's made us into this conflict. It's only shown me some stuckness or some loss or some argument or some challenge. And if you're challenged with this person right now, they want a reconciliation, they want to make peace. Okay, and maybe you're not wanting a reconciliation. Maybe they're fearing you're not going to take them back or accept them. There's a big fear that you're not going to accept this person as they are, you know? And it's like, when you learn the true me, I'll be abandoned again. And so they act in this way. But it's like, well, who's going to deal with someone in this way? Because this is only pushing people out in a way. And it's almost like, I don't know if you want to call it like a test. It's like, I'll be in my worst behavior. And if you can, it's like that meme. If you can accept me at my worst, then, I don't know, you can accept me at my best, or whatever that meme is, you know. If you can't accept me at my worst, then, you know, forget it. It's just like, I'm going to act out a storm. And if you're going to accept me like this, then good. But it's like, what I feel is this person could constantly be at their worst then, you know. And it's like, that's me. That's how I am. I'm at my worst, you know. And again, it's not really a worst so much as it is I'm at my defensive, big challenge struggle here. So accept me as I am. It's like, okay there, bro. Like, I see you. You're not this hard, you know. You also have soft stuff here. You could be soft. You can let it in and project the pain onto everyone and everything here. And so I need to dive in a little bit more, because the only thing that sort of feels like a realization, for one, like, they can't stop the feelings that come through here. It's already cracking through this way of being. I feel this person has been withholding. And so now there's this understanding of sorts that like, I can't withhold. Am I going to invest here? But it's like, have they invested? I don't know. Things still seem very stuck here. So, I mean, is that the realization? Like, considering moving forward, considering taking a chance, considering risking opening up themselves. Like, could that be the realization? Let's just clarify this, okay? Because I feel the big fat problem that created this in the first place, that self still exists. That self. I mean, it never existed in the first place, but when we act as if, then it exists, and we're acting as if something here. So let's see, Spirit, for pile number 3's person, what is their recent realizations? Can we just clarify, dive in one extra layer here to close out this reading? Pile number 3's person, what is their recent realizations? What does pile 3 need to know about their person's recent realizations, about them, about the connection, about this thing here? 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel it's someone who couldn't commit. King of Swords in the reverse. This person feels very cold. This could be also the narcissist. You know, the King of Wands and the King of Swords in reverse could sometimes get a bad rap, you know. Now, like I always say, there's no narcissist. There's narcissistic tendencies, and everyone sort of leans in, however much to a degree. Okay, so you could have really seen this person, someone who might have been cold or lacking emotions, or just like, I don't know, again, there seems to be a withholding here, and there seems to be a fear of committing, and there seems to be, this is the burden here that they're carrying or that they're understanding, but they're not really understanding. It's just a distorted, shadowy understanding they carry. That's the burden that they need to put down. It's something that needs to get put down in order for there to be a build. But I mean, I don't think this person's having a breakthrough in seeing it. I think this person is not seeing it, to be honest, you know? So what does pile number 1 need to know about this, though? Like, what are their realizations? I mean, maybe they're saying, well, this is becoming a burden for me. This cold way of non-giving, because remember, this is someone really fucking stingy, because it's like, I realize this, but I'm still holding back because the pentacle is still in the sideways. It's getting me really annoyed. Ace of Cups again. Okay, self-love, being vulnerable. This is being available to express oneself emotionally and being open, emotionally available. This is the burden here because of their lack of understanding in truth. And so this impacts what I'm going to build here in the 3D and committing to you. And I got to put down that belief. Yeah, the King of Wands in reverse. This is, like I said, the narcissist, whatever you want to call it, you know. I'm just using words here, but I'm not projecting or diagnosing anyone with anything other than that fear, that belief. It's created a self, a version of me. Okay, I'm going to stop using ego and I'm going to start using different words so people can understand what this means. The self, a self identity that I create from the shadow. This is the burden. It's protecting and it's getting in the way of me being emotionally unavailable. And it's my way or highway, but this person is just, yeah, judgment. Okay, so this is the realization, the awakening. And I don't feel like this person is fully online, but they're the universe, okay, with this judgment, this experience is calling this person to see this. I think they're still sort of hanging on this burden and this heaviness. That's best put down by letting go and being open-minded and tolerant of the emotion or the vulnerability that will come through in order for them to build a future of happiness here. So if they want to build a future with you, the 6 pentacle has to come online in order to build the 10. If I withhold, I can't create a 10 pentacle. And so the 6 pentacles sideways. I think this person is amidst a revelation. We caught this energy amidst, and there goes my email confirming. Thank you, Spirit. Amidst a revelation. Because I don't think they see it yet. I think they're being called to the plate. I think Spirit is waking them up, or an experience is happening between you and this person right now. The 10 is the end of the road. It's the straw that's going to break the camel's back. I can't no more in this direction. I got to do things different. That's my realization. I can't no more. I can't no more. I can't no more. I must acknowledge the elephant in the room or the emotional thing that's been blocked or stuck. Because, you know, when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And so when I act cold and detached and removed, what do I experience? Cold, detached, removed, and I don't build anything but that. That's the world I'm creating. And now there's a fire, a passion, a desire, and a love, and I'm just projecting old things onto it. Well, then it's just going to stay in that thing. It's not going to build. So who am I And how do I have to be in order for me to attain warmth and vulnerability and this? And I feel very burdened by this version of me that has to come online because I'm used to, the power in dynamics because I was able to have the power. So maybe I was never really in a position of opening my heart or being in love because I had this power. Okay, aggressiveness too. It's like my way or the highway. Like I could force my will my way into situations, get self-justice, manipulation, and say and do certain things here. And now it's not working. 6 swords. 5 swords. So the only thing I can do is surrender and and switch to the opposite energy here. But I don't know if this is your energy coming through. I feel your person is learning through you. They're accepting their feelings, acceptance of feelings. There's only so much denial, refusal, and avoidance and suppressing and carrying of burdens we can go. And I feel your energy is beautiful because I do feel there's a patience, a non-judgment, a putting up with, instead of combating. It's like I'm going to hold a vibration of love. Now, I don't think you're appeasing this person so much as it is tolerant and benevolent. It's like I don't need to play your game or argue or do what you do. I could still maintain a higher truth here, and you will see the truth of what your challenge is here. And that this abandonment story that you create, that you're totally like projecting will happen, is dictating your actions here. And so, like I said, when we totally believe in something like that, we're going to see it in everywhere we look. So if I believe in lack, I'm going to find lack. If I believe that everyone's mean and cruel, and that's my story, I'm going to support it in every aspect of my world. Everything out there in the world is going to support mean and cruel because we're going to see it. We have to support the story in which we believe. We will find support for that narrative and that story. So if I'm seeking, or if I feel like there's abandonment here, and I'm trying to say, well, I got to seek something that doesn't have abandonment because everything is going to abandon me, then I just keep proving that story over and over. People are going to constantly abandon me. That's what I'm going to find. That's what I believe. And then I act as if. Okay, so this is your person coming to some sort of revelation here, slowly but surely, still at the tail end of this thing. They're maybe walking into this more vulnerable part of themselves. It's accepting a vulnerable side. And so Spirit's saying, like, don't project, allow themselves to come into their potential. They might have been really sort of not allowing themselves to go there, Nothing to do with you and all to do with this shadowy experience, okay? So, beautiful angel, this is your reading. I hope this helped you, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye. Hello, pile number 4. You guys picked the Mystic Mondays Tarot, and we're looking at tapping into the person on your mind and their recent realizations about you. Okay, this could be about you specifically. This could be about the connection between you and this person. This could be their own energy when it comes to this connection or when it comes to you and what they're realizing. Okay, so please keep in mind energy sometimes comes flipped in reverse, meaning it's your recent realizations. And if that's the case, you can listen or go to another pile. Okay, and if someone else comes through here that you don't want to hear about, then go to another reading, okay, or another pile. So we have the Tower in reverse, and I'm not doing any sort of energy check here, so I am asking that you tap into your intuition so that you know whether this is your pile or not. But I'll ask Spirit to deliver any information that will help you to determine this pile is yours or not, okay? So clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 4. And what is the person on their mind coming to realize? What are their recent realizations about pile 4 specifically, this connection, and or about themselves when it comes to pile 4 and the connection? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 4. Thank you so much, pile 4, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. So blessed to be here doing a reading. We're going to pull from 4 oracle packs here for that one. clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 4, Spirit. What is pile 4 person's realizations? Just one more from here. And 2 more. Pile 4 person's realizations at this time. Currently, what are they coming to understand about pile 4 and or about the connection between them and pile 4? Thank you, Spirit, for this message. And please help me to deliver it in a way pile 4 will understand what is being communicated to them so that they know that this is indeed their pile, their person, their message that they're looking for today. Okay, I'm going to move these to give me space. And I will turn this light on because I can't see diddly doodly. And I'll move it here so that you can see. So we have the Knight of Swords, the Tower in the reverse, 6 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords in the reverse, 9 of Pentacles in the reverse, 2 9s here. Okay, the self cards, or the self number is 9s, but it's 9 of Swords is anxiety. So it's our internal mental dialogue here, creating an anticipation of stress that could happen, would happen, has happened. Okay, we're not in the present moment, and we're creating all sorts of stress here, although it is in the reverse. And then we have the Strength card, Leo, and then the Hangman, Pisces, but this is in reverse. And the Hangman is clarified by the Page of Swords. Swords. Yeah, Page of Swords. Okay. Knight of Swords, bottom of the deck. We have 62 and 8. 8 is Leo. It's the Strength energy. Okay, it says megalomania, mental tendency, unbounded ambition, insensitivity, paranoia, sociopathy, desire for glory, excessive self-importance. Type 8, the Challenger, instinctive center between strength and weakness. With the Pluto, shadow. And then we have 22, master number, peacemaker, diplomacy, healthy energetic boundaries, and divinely guided relationships. 4, Scorpio, Aries energy, divine masculine energy. K, ordinariness, conformism, platitude, routine, dullness, monotony, and mediocrity. It almost seems like the opposite here. Avoidance, ego level. Type 4, the individualist, emotional center between lack and abundance. There's nothing special here. This is like exaltation. There's something very special here, you know. The specialness of the ego. And then the mundane sort of thing over here. Okay. Wishing and willing harm. Wishing and willing harm. My goodness. 37 or the number 10. And then we have 54 and 9. Inaction. Slowness, languor, inertia, laziness, indolence, procrastination. Type 9, the peacemaker, instinctive center between forgetting and asserting oneself. So 999, it could be seen. I think lots of 9s came through for pile 1 as well. It could be a tie. Okay, could be flipped pile or tied in somehow, in some way. So we have the solar plexus energy here. 9s are all about fruition, completion, fulfillment, about closure, service to humanity. A 9 is about wisdom as well. Okay, so we have Virgo and Cancer energy. And then we have place and activity with nature. I think this also came out for pile 1, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe 2. I'm not sure. Nature, mountain, seaside, forest, desert, garden, countryside. Type 1, the perfectionist, instinctive center between control and letting go. So we have Leo energy, Leo energy, Leo energy coming through very strong here. Okay. And 9 plus 1 is 10, and that's 10 here. 10s are all about completions and ends of cycle, transformation. A Wheel of Fortune energy, Sun energy. Okay, Sun is divine masculine, which we got with this 4. So 63 and 9, another 9. Oh my goodness. Complacency and ordinariness. Oh my goodness. Ego's pitfall, stress level. Remaining in comfort zone, spiritual laziness, passivity, status quo, escaping conflicts, avoiding challenges. Type 9, the peacemaker, instinctive center between forgetting and asserting one's self. That's what this Knight of Swords is. Asserting oneself. What's under that? The 4 of Wands in the reverse. My goodness. Okay. Let me sit here with this energy that's already sort of coming through. You guys can definitely skip ahead and I'll see what it is that's being communicated. Okay, so this reading is about what they're realizing here, and I'm saying, what are they realizing? Like, this is really weird. I'm going to read this, okay? I'm going to try to get to what they're realizing here, but I need a card for this wishing and willing harm because it's sort of sticking out like a sore thumb. Okay, I'm just getting the download now. This is the blind spot oracle here. Oh, okay. I'm getting the answer, but let me just pull a card here. Thank you, Spirit. My goodness. It's be late in the day here. The Knight of Wands in the reverse, and then the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. So I don't want to look at the bottom of the deck here just yet, or know if I will at all, but let me channel this thingy majigger. Okay. Beautiful angel. Your person seems like I've read this energy of the stuckity stuck person for a very long time, you know? And what this person is coming to realize, and I feel like this is something that is still in the early stages of development, and it could be so frustrating, very frustrating, because I feel the universe is siding with you or the person that knows the truth, which I'm assuming is you, okay? But never, we don't always know the truth so much as our own truth because we're always clouded by our own perceptions and veil, okay? But we're reading this as spirits coming through. The truth of this person that I'm reading here is that they're being called to shift out of their world. And spirit's putting pressure on this person to shift out of this world. It could be an unhappy marriage, family, work situation, where they live, their village, their community, their support, their day in, day out, wherever they're investing their time, their energy, and their effort. They've been there. I don't know how long they've been there, since birth, okay, whatever it's been. And how they've been doing this thing, or justifying this whole thing, is painting a story that they believe themselves of this virtuous actor, this it needs to be there. It's creating a persona, it's creating a validity, it's creating a story, because without that, I would have to deal with the truth. And the truth might be that this person maybe has nothing. Okay, now, of course, we have everything because we're all abundant in this abundant universe, so we can't have nothing. But again, I created this world or this thing or this belief in this thing that I'm working with. And when you remove that from my world, what am I? What am I left with? What do I stand for? What value do I have? And so they're really attached to the dialogue of that thing, story that they've built, that identity, and identifying as that being what gives them value and purpose. That is a falsity. And so when it comes to you, because we're asking about this connection, it's like they're inactive. But I feel they're inactive in their world from shifting from this thing that isn't growing. And so anything that they were doing in that world was not going to grow. It's like trying to plant, vegetables in the sand. It's like you can water it all you want, you're just wasting time. Nothing's growing in the sand here. You can't build homes on sand. You can't do anything in this sand here, except for like be lazy and tan. Okay, but I feel like this understanding, though, because this wishing and willing harm, like I said, was confusing me, but it was the blind spot oracle. And I feel like no one would ever willingly harm themselves, knowingly go and choose difficult paths for themselves, knowing it's misaligned or that they don't want it. They wouldn't choose it. The thing that chooses that, okay, because they make decisions that are sometimes misaligned, the thing that chooses that is the fear, the story, the identity that we create, the attachment, the belief. And so the valor me, the me that justifies this reason I need to be there. Like I always say, grandma needs me. The people of, I don't know, Nectar need me here to comb their hair. I don't know. Whatever the thing is that I'm saying. And now I'm realizing that I was only generating and feeding the beast in which was creating harm to me. But really what I was supporting was a lack of movement and a fear of maybe facing what I'd be left with when I abandoned that story or that position, that virtuous position or that position that I needed or wanted. And now I'm a no one, a nothing burger, whatever. I'm just this thing, this person. What do I have to live for? Look what I've built. And so if they've been tied to it, like the longer they've been there, then it's like all of my investment was there, all of my purpose, my life, who I am, what I built. It's like, no, that's a lie. That's not true. And this kept this person not pursuing the new thing in their world, something that would actually fire them up. Because this other thing that we could say, well, they're so committed to this thing, the way that they speak about it with valor and with like, I'm this thing, but it's like, it's just a dress up here. They weren't feeling a whole bunch of passion and intensity. It almost felt like a chore to be that identity, but it was an upkeeping of the identity because the ego fears when I detach from that identity, then what? Then the ego burns out here. And an ego is going to fight to keep alive that story and that identity. That's why we attach to versions of ourselves. Okay, and so this version of me, this identity I created, put me in an inactive position when it comes to the new, when it comes to investing in you or wherever the future held. And I was not even seeing it as an opportunity. And so you can argue all day long, this person chose comfort, this person chose not to move, this person chose, no, they didn't. They didn't even see the choices. As far as they were concerned, it's not even a choice. Because like I said, nobody would willingly choose to limit themselves in this way, to create some sort of deficiency in their world or some harm or some holdback here. No, I didn't believe it was a holdback. I didn't believe I was actually intentionally in some way, okay, like the self that's in the subconscious. So see if you can follow. There's a self in the subconscious. If that self is conscious, it's no longer in the subconscious. If that self makes itself present, I see through its game and its illusion. It's no longer in the subconscious. So the self that's in the subconscious making the decisions, it's trying to create some form here. Okay. Now, of course, it doesn't want to harm like me, the conscious me. I wouldn't consciously harm myself. Nobody would do that. It makes absolutely no sense. But the subconscious self is making decisions that was creating harm to this person. And when I use harm is created when we resist and we cling and we attach and we don't allow ourselves to move with the universe, to flow with the new, and we stay in suffering. And so this person has been in a period of suffering because I believe that I can't. I believe that I'm not independent of this thing. I believe that I'm not a free being. I believe that I'm not confident enough. I believe in that story. And so what's coming online here is this person, through understanding I've been harming myself by believing this lie or this sitting here and suffering. And I can't sit here and suffer no more. The only way for me to get out of this belief, even though I might not feel like I'm in a practical position to invest or to be free or independent or conform in some way to the new, I know that I have to face my courage. And I know that I have to shift the way that I'm thinking of this thing. and that I'm going to have to come out of my period of whatever you want to call it, limbo, my period of pause in this world. I'm going to have to shift how I'm engaged in my world here in order for me to do things differently, think differently, if I want different results, which would really require me facing my fear, because I have a big fear here of this thing. And I never maybe seen it this way or understood it this way. I always just wrote it off, because I definitely didn't see an option. This new is an option for me, or I could stay here. No one would choose this thing, but it's like, no, I only saw this thing because I put so much weight into who I was here and my role that I was playing here. And there could have been a lot of stories or fear around what will happen when, grandma calls for me and I'm not there, or whatever. The community, the family, the thing that I built. When I step away, when I admit this truth, when I do the thing, it's like I had a helping hand in that thing failing or falling apart. And so we're really building ourselves as this key integral part that's holding it all together. And only an ego would do that. I'm the glue that holds the world together. And so he who can hold it together is he who can also dissolve this thing and it come falling apart. And I would wish it, falling apart by the actions that I do. It's like, no, that's not true. And that's a whole heavy thing to carry. And so this could be somebody who really did not, I'm moving in there. Someone who really did not want to be a bad guy. Somebody who really, didn't want to do that. But at the same time, it was like a crutch or an excuse in order for me just not to face the challenge and know that I am independent of this thing and that I am confident to break out of this thing. And so here it's like, it gives me the confidence to feel I'm needed or wanted or something like this. And so I'm being called to flow. I'm being called to not resist. I'm being called to overcome. And what I'm being called to overcome is my understanding and see things differently in a different way that might really go outside of my comfort zone. It's not the norm. It's not what I normally think. It's not how I normally act. It's not what I would normally do. But this is the only way that's going to get me to come out of this thing, because I'm suffering here and I don't want to be in this thing no more. And I'm coming to realize that the gravity of this whole big thing is now a little less than maybe what I thought in the past, because in the past I might have thought, oh, it's going to be completely devastating, I think that is older energy. And now the new energy of what the realization is like, I have to sort of sit with my strength. I have to lean into this confidence or this courage. I have to understand how I'm going to go after, this connection, or talk to pile number 4, or engage with pile number 4 in a way here that makes me confront the thing. And doing that would mean I'd have to let something else fall. So I feel like this person has taken their time. I feel like this person was avoiding this thing, for as long as they could, and not consciously, but again, this driving identity that was doing this thing. And I feel like this person was, it almost feels like their environment had power over them, really, at the end of the day, even if they thought they were the ones sort of maybe controlling it or building it or tied to it. Because there does seem to be like my environment here, so it could be someone in their environment or someone in their family or their world, has control over me. I have no freedom. I have no financial autonomy. I have no independence. I have no ability to free myself of this. I have no, and maybe this is how I've lived, or this is what I rely on, or this is how it goes. And it's like, okay, so then you continue down that thing over and over and over. And it's like, have you seen the truth? Are you fulfilled? Are you facing your fear? And is it really the fear talking keeping you sort of stuck there, that you're really not stuck? I feel like this person is stuck in routine, stuck in avoiding the new. I feel this person does act quite slow. I feel like this person procrastinates a lot and then feeds themselves the story. And you could really feel like this person, at some point in time, it's like they you might think they knew what they were doing, or they made a choice, they made a decision, to not support this, or to dissolve what we had, or they could invest and build in this thing and they chose not to, or they didn't see the vision or something like this, which is kind of true on the surface, but deeper than that, it isn't a choice. This is an egoic self, or an identity of the subconscious, whatever word you want to use, that creates an attachment to a version, that believes the story, and that thing is the driver. And that world is not sustainable, and that world is creating all sorts of stress for this person. And I feel like this person still has stress about, like, the practical aspect. So that they do seem to be somebody here who might need to lean into more of their spiritual nature, because they are being guided here by spirit, and to put boundaries with other people or their situation or their circumstance in order to break free. Because I feel like they believe the lack story or the lie story or that identity. And it's like this thing still exists. And I think the thing that exists is I don't have the job, the money, or the house, or the setup here, or this thing is, I have to support it financially. That belief is still sort of here. And I always read that in these readings here. It's that's the mother of my child depends on me, or my family is providing my finances, or if I divorce this thing, then my finance goes with it, my home goes with it, my ability to be free or financially independent. And so that's the fear here, is like, to be in this whole dynamic with you, there might be a lack belief that I need to be, I don't know, successful, or have a bag of money, or have 3 cars and a garage in my own home. And now I fear that I don't do that. And now I got to face my fear and get the 3 cars. It's like, no, that's a lack story, and it doesn't exist here outside of the mind. And so I think that this is the holdup, because it's like, well, I just got to face my fear and go create 3 cars. Like, no, it's like the fear is saying I have to look at that belief that I'm lacking something here, and that it won't happen unless I have this or that, because I'm dependent on the material story right now. And I think that that's the only way. And when I trust the universe, then, it's like this whole thing that I've been trying to sort of support and see, I'm going to sort of play a Russian roulette here, because I still don't believe it fully. I still see the lack here. I'm still not at that position, or I still don't have the thing, or financially. And so we can never really pull the trigger when we believe in that story. So I feel this person just knows they're suffering. I feel this person understands that wherever they're at is something here that's unsustainable, that's the creating of the suffering, that there is a need to lean into courage. But I feel like there's still a belief in some sort of story about the financial support or the resources that they would need in order to move forward, that they're creating a whole story about that they're needing to shift their perspective on. And then they could be in action, according to them. Then I could get action. Once I have that car, then I'm in action. Once I have money for a plane ticket and a house, then I'm in action. Once I have, no, I'm never going to have it, and it's never going to come. And that's not what you need. And I do feel like this person might even think, like, if I'm premature here and not ready or not prepared, I'm going to, like, bomb this thing, or it'll fall apart, or I'll pull the trigger prematurely, and then what, So I might as well just not do it just yet. It's still premature. I'm still not ready. It's still not ready. It's still, and we could go on like this forever. At the end of the day, seeing it as a non-choice, and it'll never be a choice. And I always use the analogy of having children, because you're never really ready to have the child. I'm going to wait till I have X amount in the bank and this, that, and the other, then I'll have the child. It's like, no. You'll always need something more, because you're never prepared for the child. You're never prepared for this sort of move. Now I say never. It's always the right time and never the right time, because whatever unfolds, well, you can never prepare for. There is nothing here to prepare for. It's just face the courage to see things differently here, And if something were to fall apart, the chips will fall where they may. We have to naturally, go through it with the universe. This is the card of success. It just flew off the top of the deck. Okay, Chariot, Cancer. So the integration of the shadow, so the shadow belief, whatever I said in the subconscious here, okay, that's running the show, has to be integrated into the whole self so that I have buy-in from myself so that I can move forward. Otherwise, the subconscious calls the shots. And what wins? The subconscious. Subconscious has always the big pull. The conscious self is the small, tiny little iceberg, the tip of the iceberg. It doesn't do anything. It's just acting out of subconscious. And so in order for me to move, in order for me to flow, in order for me to overcome obstacle, I need to have buy-in, and I need to see that subconscious self, and Spirit is saying, move and you'll have success. Integrate that belief or that part that's untrue into the light, bring it into the light of awareness, have movement, find balance, have victory and success. But you have to confront it. You can't fear it. You have to work with spirit, go with the flow of nature, natural progression. You can't resist. You can't see it as some big obstacle that you're never going to ever overcome, and therefore stay put. Because it's like I see it as a mountain or an obstacle, or I can't and I won't. I lack confidence, trust in myself. I don't make myself available here. And Spirit is telling this person, like, where are you investing your energy? Because where you invest is what's going to move. And I feel like their world could have definitely been completely out of balance here in something that wasn't sustainable. And they might have not been able to prioritize you or invest in you because all their energy was going to upkeep this building on the sand, stagnation with you. And so their realizations here, I feel, are going to lead to successful outcome, balance, and movement here, although very slow. It is coming online, and I feel it's challenging their can't-do attitude, won't-do attitude, and this is what they're confronting. This is what they're coming to understand, challenging these beliefs, trying to see things differently, working with spirit in order for them to be able to find a way to move through this. Because I think you haven't built a thing with them, and I feel this person hasn't either committed or stabilized or grounded anything here with you, because they're giving into this story. But the more anxiety they feel here, the more suffering, the more it reveals to them this untruth, the more this person is called to action. And at some point in time, they're going to have to accept the truth here, because we can't sit in suffering for long periods of time. And the fact that this is in reverse, I think this person is done with suffering. They're going to reach a point mentally where it just snaps. I can't no more in this world or this place, even if I have to risk or chance, or I'm not confident about where it's going to go. I can't stay here no more. I have to face it. I have to. There's no other choice. And right now I don't think they saw the choice, or the choice was never there, but the anxiety is getting louder and louder. It's like the choice is there. You suffer long enough, which is the worst of the two evils, facing your great fear and the thing that's actually going to be a blessing, or staying where you are, where it's completely, oppressive, because it's like death by a million paper cuts here. Day in, day out, like drip, 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 drip. Yawn. Okay. Pile number 4, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. I love you very much, and I will see you at the next one. All right, bye-bye.